reminders that that reminds me that I'm black in America. Um, when I approach someone, let's say an older lady, older person, or even younger, if it's just me, I'm not with my children or with my family, and I'm running towards someone, I could feel that tension from 50 yards away. Like, oh shit, black guy with dreads is coming my way. But even just going to fancier store, things cost a lot. You get the customer service people in there kind of follow you along the store, or kind of look at you, or they may not even come to you. It's like, this person can't afford to buy what's in here, or whatever. So you kind of get both. Either they think you're probably going to do something, or trying to do something, or this person doesn't belong here. They're probably just window watching. I would say, even I remember going to clubs. It was like we even knew it, right? Like, if I wasn't with some of my white friends, like certain clubs, it was just me and a couple of my black friends. They're like, we're not, like, let's not even go there because we're not getting in. And the only way we could get in is if we, say we're going to spend, $5,000 on bottles and got to pretend to be rappers or something. But just like a normal person trying to get into some of these clubs in South Beach, two or three of us, black males, it wasn't happening. We could sit out there all day.
What is a painful experience of racism that you remember and kind of still feel, have vivid flashbacks of?
Yeah, so one for sure, Miami Hurricanes are playing Virginia Tech in, I want to say, the '01 season was the last time we won the championship. Me and a group of buddies who went up to Blacksburg, Virginia, to go watch that game. Was at VTech. Folks in the crowd, but these are fans of Virginia Tech, was just dropping N bombs, kind of like, get out of here. It was a close game for a minute there. I remember someone making fun of my locks, calling them like shit locks or doo-doo locks or something along those lines. And that was vivid. And I was like, and even being there, I remember just driving up to Virginia Tech. We would make stops in certain stalls. And my friend, who wasn't even black, wanted to go use a stall in the bathroom. He went and he's like, hey, let's get out of here. Let's not get in here. He came out. He's like, hey, I saw, N bombs written on the wall, and swastikas and stuff. And just getting up there was like that. And it was all eyes on me once I was there. You could tell, there's not too many black folks there outside of the football players, probably. I have a 7-year-old. He kind of looks like a 10 or 12-year-old. And folks aren't racist in a sense, like, hey, look at that N bomb. At least not that first. It doesn't have that tone, but everyone looks at him as like, hey, can't wait till you play football. Can't wait till you play basketball. Because he's taller than everyone, bigger than everyone. And to me, there's racism in that as well. Like, why can't he? Which he is. He's the gifted student that gets straight A's, right? Like, but like, that's not what people see. People see him as like a football or a basketball player. If we're in the middle of Target and someone says, hey, oh, this is the future Miami Dolphin, right? Like, I take it as a learning opportunity to not just for my son, but also for the person saying it. Like, hey, look, he could be a doctor, right? Like, I kind of check that person in a friendly way, like, I don't say like, why the hell, I'm not trying to cause a fight, but I do check that person and be like, this person could be a doctor. My son could be a doctor. He could be an engineer. Just because he's big and black, it doesn't mean he has to play football, right?
So we've talked about your experience. We've talked about a sports stadium. We've talked about shopping. We've talked about clubs. We've talked about your son. We've talked about all these issues. One thing that white people can do to help Black Americans.
Well, I think the one thing that white Americans could do to help Black Americans is, number one, be aware and acknowledge the privilege of being white. I think that helps to conquer racism. I think that's the first step that someone that's not black can do, is realize that uh, when you're in a car and you're driving by a cop, you just drive by the cop. Well, not saying you're speeding, you just drive, right? Like, there's not this fear of like, oh shit, like, whether I can't tell you how many times I've like, oh shit, for no reason, right? Like there's nothing in the car. There's my license is whatever. But growing up black, you tense up just driving by a cop or walking by a cop. Another thing I think some white person can do to help black folks is to also, after kind of checking the white privilege, I think is to for other folks that are racist, and let me tell you why. Let's do better. So kind of just checking each other, and that's on a small basis. On a larger level, take part in this fight. I think the reason why this movement's working more so than at least in my lifetime is because there's more white people being involved and speaking up, going out there and marching, even though it may be uncomfortable being the one white person out there with a sign saying Black Lives Matter. I think that helps. I think more white people having conversations to trying to make some change is what's going to actually make the change. I think that's the difference between what's happening now and before. So just more of that, more stepping up, more talking to each other, calling it out as it is, and then also, but I do think the first step is being like, hey, do I have an advantage in a sense, not of just the way I live in comparison to someone of color, and then realizing that there is some sort of perks per se, right?
Okay.
That's, yeah,
That was awesome. Good work.
appreciate it.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to support us, subscribe below or visit us at Unyte.Life. Be an ally, and I'll see you soon.